Hi, everyone. So I know you've been missing my grocery store stories, right? I haven't talked about the grocery store in a while because things have been going pretty decent and we've been doing Instacart sometimes. But yeah, I had another little issue today with the grocery store. Um, this week Alicia's off from work, so she's on vacation, and I thought I would offer to do some stuff for her so that she could just enjoy her break. Because it's the first vacation she's had without any schoolwork, like nothing school related since she's finished all that. And so I went to Wegmans today earlier to get some stuff for, groceries. And I already had a list started. And I told her to put some stuff on there, like put whatever she wanted me to get on the list. And every time I ask her to do that, maybe she puts two things, which I hate because it's like, am I supposed to get you other stuff? And if I don't, do I look like an asshole? Like, I constantly struggle with that. But no, she put many things on the list. And they were things that I don't buy myself. Like, and I don't know where they are in the store. And the way that she like completely redid the list and gave me this bigger piece of paper. I mean, this all matters. This is why I'm saying this. This all matters to me. Like, it's this bigger piece of paper with her handwriting, all this shit. I don't know where a lot of it is. And when she does her lists, she writes them in the order of where things are in the store. And I mean, I've told her before, don't do that if you're going to, like, if I'm going to go, because my mind doesn't work that way. Like, I can't just go off of a list and know, like, okay, it's going to be in this aisle, that aisle. Like, I don't know. I can't follow like that. I hope you were able to follow that. But anyways, so I look at the list and she has some stuff on there, and she had something called wheat puff cereal. Wheat puff cereal. And I had never heard of this before. And so I was like, what is this? And she's like, wheat puff cereal. And I'm like, yeah, what is it? And I said, is that like the brand name? Is that what it's going to say on the box? And she said, yes. I was like, "So wheat puff cereal?" And she said, "Yes." The reason why I'm bringing this up is because, you know, this is what started the meltdown. And I'm not blaming her. Like, we're fine. Like, it's actually kind of funny. I'm surprised that like I'm out of my meltdown already. But so like I'm at Wegmans, right? And I'm in the cereal aisle, and I'm going up and fucking down looking for a box that says wheat puff cereal. By the way, because she had said that that was the brand name, on the way to Wegmans, I was thinking to myself, who the fuck came up with that brand name? Like, that is so boring. Like, were you high when you came up with that? Like, wheat puff cereal? And I don't know why my brain got stuck on how shitty a brand name that was. Um, so like anyways, then I get to the cereal aisle and I can't find anything that says wheat puff cereal, because that's all I'm looking for is wheat puff cereal. Nothing. The cereal aisle is so long. I went up and down. I was in it for like 10 fucking minutes. I looked at every single box. None of them said wheat puff cereal. There was wheat and there were puffs, but they were not wheat puff cereal. So I was just so worked up at that point. I was like, she said she got it from Wegmans. She said this is what the name is, and I can't find it. And like there was a worker, like somebody stocking the shelves down the at the end of the aisle. I didn't even go to ask them where it is because I knew after those 10 minutes that my wife didn't know what she was talking about. There's no cereal called Wheat Puff cereal. I'm not going to go up to a store employee and ask them to look for something that I clearly know doesn't exist. So, I just left and didn't get anybody any cereal. Um, and then, like, I'm just flailing around the grocery store, like, trying to find these things that she put on this list that, like, I don't usually get. And I'm like, what aisle is this one in? And like, where's that? And, I ended up just, I only got half of what was on the list, and then I just gave up and, like, cashed out and, like, went home. Because it was not a good time at that store, and it really was because of the cereal. Because, like, all these things were going through my mind when I was in that cereal aisle, like 10 minutes. Okay, like as I'm pacing up and down, I'm thinking about all the stuff I could have already put in the cart if I wasn't here looking for this fucking brand of cereal. And like driving home, I was like, she's lucky she got Lorna Doones and Twizzlers because, like, I did not get a lot of what was on that list because I don't know, I couldn't. Like, your brain is just like, "Fuck this, I'm out," and I haven't had that feeling in a grocery store in a while. And no, I definitely do not wanna do that thing where you order for pickup, like, you order online and then you go to the store and, like, they bring it out to you. I don't wanna have to fucking deal with that because then I have to call somebody, and then they have to come out to the car, and then I have to interact with them. So, like, how is that helpful for me? It's not. So, it's either Instacart or I go to the store. And, we don't like, money's not tight, but, like, we don't really have the extra for the Instacart, so that's why I went in person. And boy, do I regret it. So, like, then I get home. Good thing I took that anti-nausea pill before I went, because I probably would have thrown up after getting overheated and melted coming home. And so I come inside and I was like, there's no wheat puff cereal. Like, I pretty much just came into the house in meltdown mode. And I was like, where is this wheat puff cereal? As I spent 10 minutes, I was going up and down this aisle, up and down this aisle. There's no wheat puff cereal. And I was like, so I said, is that the brand name? And she's like, "I think so." And I was like, "What?" Come to find out, that bitch didn't even buy that cereal at Wegmans, she got it at Aldi's. And there's nothing called Wheat Puff cereal, that's not a brand. And so she pulled her phone out and she's looking these different things up. Like, so I'm thinking she's trying to look for the cereal to show me what she meant. And she shows me these other brands of cereal. And I'm like, why are you showing me these? This isn't what you wanted me to get. Show me the fucking box of cereal I was supposed to find. And she couldn't find it. And I was like, like 10 minutes is a long time to have gotten pretty much nothing done, except I worked myself up over this fucking brand of cereal that didn't fucking exist. Wheat puff cereal. And I mean, it is kind of funny. She's like, "Oh, sorry." I was like, I need very specific, like when I ask you, is this a brand name? If you're not sure, you need to say you're not sure because then I wouldn't have spent 10 minutes searching for something that didn't fucking exist. Like, don't say that you're confident about something. Like, don't sound like you're confident about something if you're not. Like, where am I at? I'm not, like, where am I at with time? Yeah, I'm 7 minutes talking about this fucking wheat puff cereal. Oh, that worked me up so much. And then, like, I came home and then I told her, I said, I only got half of what was on the list. And there's no way I'm going to another store today. Maybe not tomorrow, because tomorrow I have to drive her to and from ketamine. And that's always a joy. And I know I'm not going to have the mental capacity to go to a fucking grocery store after that. So maybe Wednesday. And sometimes it's frustrating. Like, I can only do one thing a day pretty much. Like, I used to be out in the world for many, many hours at a time and now I'm reduced to I can maybe go to like one store a day if it's by myself. Like, what the fuck is going on with this? But anyways, I just, I didn't stay in my meltdown and I did thank her because she didn't make me feel like any kind of way about coming into the house freaking out. She was able to calm me down and I really appreciated that. And I was just like, this is like this like, I would not regular. Well, yeah, ordinary people wouldn't spend, like, almost 10 minutes talking about an issue like this. Like, it's not a big deal, probably, to a lot of people, but it was to me because I also have this thing where, um and it goes back to my childhood. Whenever I'm asked to look for something and I don't know where it is, and if I don't find it right away, I go into freak out mode because my mom, when I was a kid, would fucking lose shit because she didn't know that things had their place. She wasn't organized like that. And she'd be like, "Can you find this?" And then I would never really be able to find whatever the fuck she wanted me to find. And I always got in trouble for it. And it was just like it became terrifying because she was not nice about it when I couldn't find her shit. So, and I know Alicia's not my mom, but like it's that it just my brain goes there. Like when I'm looking for something that she needs, Alicia, and I can't find it, I start freaking out. And so I just am gonna go ahead and add that to the list of issues I still have to work on. So that was my grocery store experience today. At least I got chocolate. So, oh, hi, honey. Sorry, the baby's here. Phil, the kitten, not a real baby. So this past weekend, that was all related to autism, right? Yeah, this is all related to autism. Okay, so this past weekend, um, we took Xena, the one that I call Bitchy. We took her to the animal hospital because we really thought that like she was gonna die. So like it just what happened was it Friday? No, Thursday night. She was in today's Monday. Thursday, she was just doing a normal stuff that a cat would do, and then like there was the span of like a few hours between when she was acting normal and then when all of a sudden she wasn't. Like she was just like lethargic. She wasn't really eating or drinking, and she was like throwing up white foam. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, so maybe she's got like a blockage or something, like a hairball's having a hard time coming up. Did she ingest something that she shouldn't have? Like, I don't know. And it was just weird. And she wasn't getting any better. I mean, it's not like she just went downhill real quick. She didn't. So I gave it Friday to see like how she would do. And then we decided to go ahead and take her in Saturday because she didn't throw up a hairball. Like, I was hoping maybe it was something like that, and she didn't. So we took her into the animal hospital on Saturday because our vet was too full with appointments. And we're thinking that like we're gonna go there and like have to put her down because back in, several months ago, not even 6 months ago, I don't think, Hades had stomach, like his kidneys shut down. But like he did the same thing right before he died. And then like his sister, like, I don't know. It's just I don't know why my mind goes to like, oh, this must mean that you're about to die. And maybe because it's they're old. Like Xena's 12. That's not a young cat. It's not a super old cat, but like, like she's old. And so I just assumed that like maybe it was something like that and we were gonna have to put her down. So I was like preparing myself for that. And anyways, what ended up happening was she had an inflamed bladder. It had like debris in it. It was like crystals and shit. Like a urinary, was it not a UTI, but something, maybe something similar. I don't know like the exact how to explain this. Um, I do know like what was the issue. Just, I do know. I just don't know how to explain it. But anyways, that's what was going on. And so before I don't know how to explain this properly. Basically, like it was going to cost several $1,000s to keep her over one night at that animal hospital. And because they couldn't figure out like they had to do tests and stuff and like they wanted to give her pain meds and like do all these things. And so like it didn't register in our minds, Alicia and and like in our brains, we thought that like, okay, several $1,000s, we can't afford that. Like there's lots of people that just don't have several $1,000s laying around. And I wish I could be like that someday, but I'm not. But like it's always like if you can't afford it, what's the other option? The other option has been having to put our cats down. Like Hades' sister Athena died a few years back and she had cancer and they were offering to like try these different things and it was going to be like 9-10 grand and we were like no, like she's older and it just I hate when it comes to money or your pet's well-being or life, like it's just I feel like an asshole. So like we were at home at that point. Sorry, I'm all over the place. But like we had left at that point because they wanted to keep her for a few hours, and then they called us, and then they said we would have to keep her overnight. So Alicia and I were like, we're gonna have to put her down. Can you talk to the doctor about that because we're not gonna be able to afford that. And then the lady went and talked to the doctor and or the vet or whatever, and said that she'll send Xena home with like pain meds and like the stuff that she needs so that we don't have to pay all that money. And I was like, wait a minute. So like what she has going on with her is not something that like is threatening her life right now. And the lady was like, no. She's like this, like, cats get this, they get put on a specific diet, like she can still live like a life. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, I almost killed my cat because I couldn't afford several $1,000s to keep her overnight. And like that's where my mind went to. And then I was like, that lady's gonna think that we don't love our fucking cat because we're just gonna kill her. And she's got nothing that would like that's threatening her life right now. Does that make sense? Like, if it was like, "Oh, we think she could have cancer. We think we're gonna have to do all of these maybe surgery, blah, blah, blah," then, like, then I would feel I'd feel better about the decision, but I just feel like an asshole. I just feel so bad, like, I know I don't have to feel that way, but, like, Zena's home now, she's doing fine, she's been high as a kite for the last couple of days, but that's not really why I was talking about bringing her to the animal hospital, but, like, that's part of it too, is I just ugh. But anyways, what I was gonna say about, like, that was we get to the animal hospital, and we haven't been to this one in years because we had some issue with, like, one of our cats years ago, and so it was busy like we thought it would be, and we assumed we were gonna have to wait for a few hours, so it's whatever. But it was one that opened up, like, right around us recently that had to close down because of the pandemic, so, like, that's how long it's taking some of these places to come back, and so we, like, went there, and, um, when I go to places, I pretty much don't make eye contact with people if I don't have to. I don't really look around, like, anywhere I go that's, like, unfamiliar to me, I make sure I know where's the exits, like, where's all the exits around me right now, and where's the bathroom. Those are the 2 things I look for every time. Because 'cause I've got bathroom trauma. But, like, I look, "Where's the bathroom? Okay, there's a bathroom, I can use it. Okay, I feel good about that. If I need to go, it's right there. And here are where I can escape if I need to." Like, I can't be the only one that does that, right? Anyways, so we were sitting there for 2.5 hours. I was reading a book on my phone. We were chatting with, like, people that had, like, it was nice. People brought dogs in, and it was like a petting zoo. And so we were talking to some of them about their pets or whatever. And that's when I started making more eye contact because I was looking at people and their pets. And then I noticed, like, at the back of the waiting room. Now, this waiting room's not large, and I don't know how to describe what size it is. It's just not large, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. It's not that big. The back half of the room was taken up by this one dude, and he was a security guard. It said security on his shirt. And, like, that's when I noticed that he had been there the whole time. So he had sectioned off, like, a good chunk of the waiting room just for himself so that nobody else could go back where he was to sit and wait for their appointment. He had, like, a computer set up. He was on his phone. He was just sitting there entertaining himself, and I didn't even know that he was there, and I didn't notice until he got up and he was opening the door for somebody, and then I noticed he's had security on the back of his shirt, and I asked Alicia, I was like, "What is this? Did he just get here? Is this a real security guard?" She's like, "Yeah, he's been here, like, over there the whole time," and I didn't know, and, like, it is so obvious. I should not have missed the fact that, like, this huge chunk of the room was sectioned off by one person, and that there are many seats on his side that weren't allowed to be sat in because he blocked it off from everybody. I didn't even know that he was there. I didn't know about that section. I didn't know that I didn't, because I didn't look around. I might have probably looked and, like, noticed there was no door down there, and that's as far as my brain went, but it was just like, how did I miss this? It was just, I shouldn't have missed it. And, like, I do this shit all the time. Like, we were driving the other day, and we are going down the same road we've been down thousands of times, and Alicia's like, "Oh, like, they put new siding up on some of these buildings. Look." And she's like, "See?" And I'm like, "I don't know what the fucking buildings even looks like to begin with, because I don't look at buildings when I'm driving. I look at the road and other cars." So I didn't even know that there was new siding. I don't fucking care. I don't pay attention to, like, just really obvious shit right in front of me if I'm just focused on something. Like, when I'm driving, I'm focused on driving, because that's a whole sensory thing anyways. It's not easy to drive, so I don't like to look around at things that I don't have to look around at. But anyways, I just thought it was kind of funny that I missed this entire thing that was, like, going on. And then, um, to back up just a little bit, at the beginning, as soon as I found out where the bathroom was, it was like I had to shit. I had to poop as soon as we got there because Alicia woke me up. I didn't get to have any coffee. I didn't want any. I just, like, "Okay, I'll come with you to the animal hospital." And, like, usually I don't have to poop. Sorry about all of this, not this stuff you probably don't want to hear about. But I don't usually have to take a shit in the morning until I've had coffee because, you know, that's it gets your intestines going and stuff. So I thought I was gonna be good. So, anyways, I did not shit for the 3 hours that we were there initially. I just held it. It went back up inside somewhere. I don't know. And I told Alicia about it. She's like, "The bathroom's right there." But I saw these people going in and out. There were some that were in there for like 10, 15 minutes because I do at least pay attention to that. And then I was like, those people are fucking pooping, and I'm not gonna go into this bathroom where people have been pooping. No. Gross. I don't wanna poop in public. If I had to pee, maybe that'd be different, but, like, no, I don't wanna I didn't wanna add to the poop smell. So, like, I just held her for 3 hours, and Alicia's like, "You can take the car and go home and shit," because it was only 5 minutes away where we lived. I didn't wanna do that because I didn't know if I was gonna be able to, like, get home and get back without getting lost. Because I haven't been to that place by myself. This is ridiculous. This is so ridiculous. And so to occupy my mind so that I didn't have to think about how much I had to poop, like I noticed there are a lot of autistic people that have cats. And I had counted at least five people that just screamed to me that they were autistic and they had cats. And I just really wanted to talk to them, but I didn't. 'Cause that's weird, what would I say? But I thought that, like, I don't know, like, you got the dog owners are so loud, a lot of them. They're just loud people. And then you got, like, the cat owners. We tend to be more quiet, reserved. We don't like all of that excitement. So, I wonder, like, I wonder within the autistic population, like, do we have more cats or dogs? You know what I mean? I'm just curious, like, what the numbers would be for that. But I thought that was cool. Um, and then I think that was all I was gonna say about that. Yeah. I just I mean, the point of this episode was I don't know, but I'm pretty sure this is all autistic, you know, because you guys I can't be the only one that misses stuff like this, right? Like right in front of me. I don't know. Like that's why I'm prepared to die at any moment because, like, I could walk into, like, a store and, like, I mean, I'm not trying to be morbid. Like, I don't know, I could just somebody could walk right by me in full body armor and, like, have, like, rifles and weapons, and, like, I would not see them even if I was looking straight at them, because if my brain was focused on something else, it ignores everything around me. So, like, I expect that, like, just something random might happen to me, and, like, it's whatever. Um, but the most important thing about the animal visit to the animal hospital was that Xena is still alive, and I'm still trying to work my way out of the guilt of, like, almost killing her over something she didn't have to die over. Like, what the fuck? I feel so horrible about that, but I finally like, I really realized that I don't have to be afraid of pet death, like and what I mean is just, like, how it feels to lose a pet. It feels horrible. I've talked about it before. I lost my soul kitty. Oh, I gotta tell you about that in a minute because that reminded me of something. Um, and you know, like once I got through Hades' death, I realized like I can get through anything. That's how much that cat meant to me. And so, like, I was so devastated, like, Saturday when we thought that she was in the dying process, and, like, we went home. We were waiting for them to call us to tell us, like, what the test said. Like, and I was just so sad. And nobody likes to feel that way. But, like, I remember thinking, like, this feels so horrible inside my body. I don't like how I feel. I was just crying. Um, But, like, it wasn't going to like, I could make it through this, like, I knew it wasn't gonna last forever, it was just a temporary emotion, and, like, you know, in an hour, maybe I would feel different, and I don't know, like, it's really strange to have um, to just be aware of, like, something like that. Does that make any sense? I'm starting to have a hard time talking. I'm just gonna end this real quick with a funny little story. Um, so we were this is back at the vet. I really hope I'm so sorry for like all this jumping around, but like I'm pretty sure you guys can follow this, right? Because you're autistic. But like, so back at the animal hospital, um, this was after the 3 hours we were waiting in the waiting room, and they had already taken Xena back like earlier to like hook her up to an IV and stuff. And so they brought us back to this waiting room, and we were waiting for them to come in and tell us what was going on. And like we were in there for like a while, and I don't know how this got brought up. We were talking about it, and I don't know how it got brought up, but I basically admitted to her that I thought of a hypothetical in my mind that if I were given the choice between having Hades, the cat that died back in April, if I could have him for like 20 more years, um, how am I sorry about the talking. It's just I gotta end this soon because my brain is starting to not work. I told my wife that I her death would not upset me as much as Hades' death did. I pretty much said that like you could die and it's not gonna make me as sad as it was when my cat died. And she's like, "What?" And I was like, "And here's a hypothetical that I did an episode about one time is if like I was given 20 more years with Hades, but I couldn't have you for 20 years, like which would I take? Would I take the cat or would I take you?" And I told her, I said I would take the cat. And she's like, "What?" And I'm like, "It's a hypothetical, so technically you can't get mad because it'll never come true." You know? I don't think she was mad. I don't know, like, I don't know. I kind of regretted saying it when we laughed about it, but I was like, "Look, I'm sorry. I love you. I love you a lot. But like, I think I love animals more." I didn't say that to her, but I think I love animals more than people. Actually, I know I do. I don't think. I know I love animals more than people. I know I do. And I totally like for real right now in this moment, if somebody came to me and they had my dead cat that came back alive and said, "Here you go. I'm going to hand over Hades to you. I just want your wife for like 20 years. You don't get to have her. You're not nope, that's it. You're by yourself. No, just you and the cat." I'd be like, "Okay." And I would take Hades and I'd be like, "Bye, Alicia." That is so horrible, isn't it? God, why would somebody wanna be married to somebody that thinks this way? Like, I feel so bad sometimes for, like, the shit that, like, I say out loud that, like, maybe I shouldn't have said out loud, and, like, I always hope that Alicia knows just how much I do love her. Like, I do love her so much, but not more than Hades. Oh my god, how terrible. So I thought I would just share that. I did finally tell her. Alright, well, do with this episode what you will. I don't know if you got anything out of it. I really hope you did. I really, really do, because I don't like to waste your time. But if you can relate to any of this stuff, please let me know. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.